Good morning. Today, let us discuss about the citizenship provisions that are provided by the Constitution of India. What do you mean by this? See, we always say that we are the citizens of India. That is nothing but our identity. There are various countries in the world, and we don't belong to each country. And we belong to a country called India because we have been recognized as the citizens of India. With this, what are the advantages? The advantage is nothing but the state comes to the protection of the citizens. What do you mean by state? Come on, go back to our previous class and understand and just recollect the meaning of the word state. Meaning the government will come to give the protection to the people wherever we are. Yesterday, you might have seen in Australia what happened. Some people have been taken as hostages by a gunman. During that time, we started worrying about the Indians who have been detained as hostages. Hence, the government of India will always try to give the confidence to the people that we are taking certain measures to protect the lives of these Indians. Not just India, every country does in the same manner, meaning their citizenship will entitle a person to get the benefits that are being provided by the government. That is the reason why citizenship is very, very important. See here in the part 1 of the Constitution, we have discussed about the union and its territory. And we understood what is the meaning of this. And now the second part they have mentioned in the form of the citizenship, meaning the citizenship provisions are mentioned in part 2 of the Indian Constitution. Similarly, we will be coming across with certain articles, and these articles are 5 to 11. These 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, these are the articles which are giving us the knowledge about the citizenship provisions that are enshrined in the Constitution of India. Let us try to understand one after the other. But kindly remember, a citizen is entitled as a recognition by the government as a citizen of a particular country, so that he is entitled for the security, so that he is entitled for all the benefits that are being provided by the government. At the same time, the citizenship is also asking the people of the country to pay the taxes. What do you mean by this? Tax is an obligation. Tax is a compulsion. So every citizen who is living in India or abroad, once he reaches to a level of payment of the taxes, that all depends on his income. Once he reaches to that level, it becomes an obligation to the citizen to pay the taxes to the government. The government has every right to collect the taxes, and those taxes will be used in the form of developmental activities to the people and the development of the nation. This is a common practice that is being followed by every country in the world. Of course, India is also doing the same thing. That's the reason a citizen will enjoy both the privileges and also the obligations. But how a person will acquire the citizenship of India? Acquiring in the sense how a person will become the citizen of India. Let us try to understand in a detailed manner now. What do you mean by this? For example, see, we are all the citizens of India, and we know this. And if you look at our parents are also the citizens of India. How we acquired? Sometimes even the foreigners. Foreigner is a person who does not belong to India. Even those foreigners are also entitled to acquire the citizenship of India. Example, look at this Srimati Sonia Gandhi. She did not have the citizenship of India sometime back. But now she is the citizen of India because certain provisions are mentioned in certain acts. And these acts are prepared by the Parliament in accordance with the provisions that are available in the Constitution. Meaning, we are all the citizens of India because of by birth concepts. But when it comes to Srimati Sonia Gandhi, she became the citizen of India through another procedure that is called by registration. Meaning there are various mechanisms how a person can acquire the citizenship of India. The Constitution permitted the Parliament of India to make the provisions for providing the citizenship to various categories of the people. And that Parliament has made a legislation by name Citizenship Act of 1955. And under that particular act, five methods are mentioned through which a person can acquire the citizenship of India. Number one, by birth, by descent, by registration, by naturalization, by acquiring a territory. So these are the five mechanisms. And out of these five mechanisms, through any manner, a person can acquire the citizenship of India. Meaning, it need not be necessary to take birth in India or on Indian soil. But otherwise, also, there are provisions how a person can acquire the citizenship of India that I am going to tell you within a short period of time. At the same time, just because a person is holding the citizenship of India, it is not guaranteed throughout the life. Because of any reason, a person may lose his or her citizenship. And again, the same Citizenship Act of 1955 has provided three methods how a person will lose the citizenship. Number one is renunciation, number two is the termination, and number three is the deprivation. Hence, there are three methods to lose the citizenship and five methods to acquire the citizenship. So now we are going to have a discussion regarding all the things one after the other. But first, let me tell you what exactly is the citizenship and what are the benefits for these people and and who are entitled to get the benefits from the state or the government. Let us try to understand. Let me open the document straight away. Look at this. I am talking to you regarding the citizenship, and the concept of citizenship is mentioned in part 2 of the Indian Constitution. Kindly remember, this may be a possible question sometimes in objective type of examination. They may ask you in which part the union and its territory is mentioned. Answer is part number 1. In which part the citizenship concepts have been mentioned. Answer is part 2. Kindly remember, whenever I am using the word part, it is nothing but group of articles put together is called a part. Now, if you look at the next point, the citizenship provisions are covered under Articles 5 to 11 of the Indian Constitution. Hope you got it now. Now I am talking to you regarding part 2. I am talking to you regarding Articles 5 to 11 of the Indian Constitution. Look at this. The citizenship involves the individual's full political membership in the state, permanent allegiance to the state, allegiance in the sense loyalty, commitments. The people of the nation, they are committed to their country. Clear, the people of India, the citizens of India are committed for the betterment of the nation. That's the reason if any citizen performs any anti-nation activities, the person will be punished. And at the same time, this also provides the official recognition by the state of its integration into the political system. What do you mean by political system? We have seen in the previous classes, we have the president of India, we have the vice president, we have the prime minister, we have council of ministers, we have Lok Sabha members, Rajya Sabha members. Similarly, at the state level, I have the chief minister, other ministers, MLAs, MLCs, who can occupy these political positions. These political positions can be occupied only by the citizens. That's the reason why having the recognition as a citizen of a country is very, very important. That's the reason, kindly remember whatever I told you that now, that recognition will be given only to the citizens and not to the non-citizens. Am I clear? Now, I'm opening the document again. Kindly have a look at this. Once again, look at this. The citizen pledges loyalty to the state. Obviously, for our own nation, we should be loyal. That is the basic idea. At the same time, the state also protects the citizens. Live example, just now I told you in Australia what is happening. The government of India tried to protect its citizens. Clear? Wherever you are, whether the citizen is on the soil of India or whether the citizen is somewhere else, anywhere in the world. So that is the reason why it is really important. You might have seen recently in Syria and Iraq, some of the Indians were trapped. During that time, the government did its best to protect the lives of the people. Within India also, whenever there are disturbances that are going on, immediately the government will jump in and government will try to restore the normalcy. Okay, that is the reason why the state protects the citizens. This is the meaning. Now, the citizenship to an individual also brings, meaning the citizenship will be given, is also providing the rights to the citizen, and it will be providing even the duties and the privileges and also the obligations. Meaning is simple, it is not just enjoying everything what is provided by the government, but at the same time, the citizenship is also bringing rights, duties, privileges, and obligations. Let's try to understand one after the other. Look at this, the point, what is that I have given? All these do not belong to aliens. That's the reason why we'll see after some time the fundamental rights can be enjoyed only by the citizens. And out of these fundamental rights, there are certain articles within this group which are exclusively available only to the citizens of India. Kindly remember, the fundamental rights, what we are going to talk in the next class, are available to all the people, whether they are the citizens of India or they are non-citizens. But there are five articles in the Constitution which are exclusively available only to the citizens. What are they? I'll tell you after some time. The government offices are open only to the citizens, meaning non-citizens cannot occupy our government positions. Only the citizens are eligible for the offices of, look at this, only the citizens are eligible for, look at this, the president. It is the office of the president. Look at the articles. If you can remember, that's well and good. Articles 58, clause 1, subclause A. Similarly, the Vice President, Article 66, Clause 3, Subclause A. All these things we are going to discuss in our future classes. The Judge of the Supreme Court, look at this, Article 124, Clause 3. In the similar manner, the Judge of a High Court, Article 217, Clause 2. Attorney General, Article 76, Clause 2. Look at this, some more points I have. The Governor of a State, Article 157, Advocate General 165. Each office is a very big office for our discussion. We are going to have a detailed discussion regarding each and every article and each and every office in our future classes. Look at the next one. The right to vote for the election to the Lok Sabha and the right to vote to the assemblies of every state is given only to the citizens. And that is what is mentioned under article number 326. If a person wants to become a member of the parliament, that is eligible only for the citizens of India, and that is mentioned under article number 84. And the right to become a member at the state legislature level, meaning if a person wants to become an MLA or if he wants to become an MLC, that is possible only for the citizens and not for the non-citizens. Okay, now look at this. The citizens are eligible for recruitment to all public services. Look at all the government services that is they are open only for the citizens and not for the non-citizens. Okay, now only the citizens have the right to vote. Others do not have any permission to vote in our elections that are being conducted in India. Only the citizens are permitted. That is a advantage. Look at this. Look at this. One of the very, very important points. You must remember this every time. In the next class, we are going to have a discussion that from Articles 12 to 35, they speak about the fundamental rights. There we are going to have a discussion about each and every article. But kindly remember this particular point. Certain fundamental rights are available only to the citizens. What do you mean by this? Since our constitution is very, very noble constitution, it's a very, very broad constitution. That constitution also guaranteeing certain fundamental rights even to the non-citizens. As a citizen of India, whatever the fundamental rights that are provided by the constitution, I can enjoy. But a person who is a non-citizen, he cannot enjoy all the fundamental rights, but majority of them are applicable for both the citizens and the non-citizens. But as a citizen, we can enjoy all the fundamental rights, and certain articles under the fundamental rights are exclusively available to the citizens only. These articles are Articles 15, 16, 19, 29, and 30. Kindly remember these articles. You have to mention in the examination. I am just repeating. Articles 15, 16, 19, 29, and 30, they are exclusively available only to the citizens and not to the non-citizens. But what is the content in these articles? Let us have a detailed discussion when I come to the topic. But for now, I request you to remember that we have a concept called citizenship, and only the citizens can enjoy certain fundamental rights. Okay, and I gave you the number. Just remember the number here. Now, look at this. Article 15 talks about the right against discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Article 16 talks about the right to equality of opportunity in the matters of public employment. Article 19 says that right to freedom of speech and expression, assembly, association, right to movement, right to residence and profession. Again, that is there only for the citizens. And Articles 29 and 30, they are talking in terms of the cultural and educational rights. So hence 15, 16, 19, 29, and 30. These articles that are mentioned under the fundamental rights are exclusively available only to the citizens of India. They are not available to the non-citizens. Am I clear? Now, let me move further. Look at this. Look at this note. I have given something note here. Enemy aliens enjoy lesser rights than the friendly aliens. What do you mean by this? Whether he is a citizen of one country or the other country, he is called an alien. Alien is a person who is not a citizen of India. But at the same time, with every country that is present in the world, India may not have the friendly relations. That's the reason why, again, in recognizing the citizens of other country, again, we are using a concept called enemy aliens and friendly aliens. There are certain relaxations that are given to the friendly aliens, meaning he is a person who belongs to a country with which India has friendly relations. And apart from this, we have enemy aliens. Enemy aliens are those citizens of the country with which we do not have friendly relations. Okay, look at this. The enemy aliens do not enjoy the protection under Article 22 of the Indian Constitution. Article 22 talks about the right to protection against arrest and detention. This is applicable for all the citizens of India. This is also applicable for the non-citizens who belong to a friendly country to India. But the citizens who belong to any other country with which India do not have the friendly relations, they cannot enjoy this particular right. Okay. Now, I'm going to the next line. If you look at this, the citizens also have the obligations like defending the country and paying the taxes. This is an obligation. It's a compulsion that we need to defend our own country. And once we reach to a level of paying the taxes, that will be decided by the government. Accordingly, we have to pay the taxes. Okay. Look at this next point. Citizenship is a new concept in India that has come into force from November 26th, 1949. If you remember that class, I told you the day the constitution has adopted, the citizenship provision also came into force. Since then, the people of the country have been recognized as the citizens of India, but during the British rule, there was nothing like any citizenship. Look at this. The concept of citizenship came into existence since the adoption of the Constitution on November 26th, 1949. Kindly remember, citizenship concept came into existence from the date of adoption and not from the date of commencement of the Constitution. Much before, meaning 2 months before the commencement of the Constitution, we have got the concept of the citizenship. Okay. Now, the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly took a large number of drafts. The Constitution of India laid down the law in regard to who would be the citizens of India at the time of the commencement of the Constitution. Now, after some time, we are going to understand how people have become the citizens of India. Let's try to understand now. Look at this. The Constitution of India has not provided any mode of acquisition and termination of the citizenship. I told you this point. When it comes to at the time of the commencement of the Constitution, who should become the citizens of India has been decided by and defined by the Constitution of India. But later, the method of acquisition of the citizenship, the method of termination of the citizenship has not been provided by the Constitution. Rather, the Constitution has given an article called Article number 11. That Article 11 empowers the Parliament of India to decide who should be given the citizenship and who should be terminated of the citizenship. That is the reason why we have an act called Citizenship Act of 1955. And this particular act of Citizenship Act of 1955 that decides that who can acquire the citizenship and who will be losing the citizenship of India. Kindly remember, this is not mentioned in the Constitution. This is mentioned in this particular act, and this act has been made by the Parliament. And today we'll be going by this act so that we can decide how a person is acquiring the citizenship of India, how a person will be losing the citizenship of India. Am I clear? Now, let's go into the details of this one after the other. Let's try to understand now. Look at this now. As per Article 11 of the Indian Constitution, the Parliament can regulate the right of the citizenship by law. Accordingly, the Parliament has passed the Citizenship Act of 1955 for acquisition and termination of the citizenship. This act came into picture in 1955. Now look at this. Who are the citizens of India? First of all, let's try to understand. The Constitution identifies the persons who became the citizens of India at the time of commencement of the Constitution. Constitution identified the citizens of India at the time of the Constitution. Later, what happens? That can be decided by the Parliament. Okay, now look at this. As per Article 11 of the Indian Constitution, the Indian Citizenship Act, the Parliament has enacted the citizenship here. Okay, what is this? Just a moment. Of the Indian Constitution. This is the point here. Right. Now we can read it clearly. As per Article 11 of the Indian Constitution, the Parliament has enacted the Citizenship Act of 1955. Of course, this particular act has been amended so many times. It was amended in 1986. It was amended in 1992, also in 2003, and also in 2005. Now look at this. The articles 5 to 8 of the Indian Constitution, kindly remember, now we are going into the details. I am going to talk to you regarding each article here. Of course, if the discussions are happening outside in offline classes, we don't go for so much of discussion here. But here I am giving you the enough details with respect to each article. What is Article 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11? We'll have a little discussion. Now, I am going to talk to you regarding the Articles 5 to 8 of the Constitution that confers the citizenship on the people at the time of the commencement of the Constitution. Okay, that is number one. We'll see. Right, who can become the citizens? Look at this. The persons who are domiciled in India, meaning who are residing in India, and the people who migrated to India from Pakistan, they were also given the citizenship. I will give you the exact dates now. And these articles are also giving citizenship to the persons who migrated to Pakistan but later returned to India. And at the same time, these articles are also giving the citizenship to the people who are the persons of Indian origin residing outside India. Now let me tell you. Let me tell you a simple concept here. Now, I am going to talk to you regarding 4 articles. Article 5, Article 6, Article 7, and Article 8. So these 4 articles are talking about who are the citizens of India at the time of the commencement of the Constitution. That's it. Okay. Today, what is happening? That is a separate concept that we'll discuss when we come to article number 11. Okay, that is a separate concept. But now, when it comes to article number 5, this article number 5 decided that the persons who domiciled in India or residing in India at the time of commencement of the Constitution are recognized as the citizens of India. That is article number 5. Now I am going to talk to you regarding article number 6. Hope you got it. I am just repeating. You remember these points kindly. Article number 5 is talking about the citizenship of the people who are domiciled in India at the time of commencement of the Constitution. When it comes to article number 6 is talking about the people who migrated to India from Pakistan. Kindly remember this one. Partition took place in 1947. And after partition, some people from the Pakistan area, they migrated to India. And what should be their status? Should they be provided the citizenship of India or not? And they have been provided with the citizenship under article number 6 of the Indian Constitution. Article 5 is for the people who were residing in India at the time of commencement of the constitution. Article 6 is talking about the people who migrated to India from Pakistan. They are covered under Article number 6. When it comes to Article number 7, just like some Pakistan, the people who are living in the Pakistan area, they migrated to India. Some of the people who are residing in the Indian region, they migrated to Pakistan and again they came back to India. Okay, India to Pakistan and Pakistan to India, back to India. These people are covered under Article number 7. Am I clear? Article number 6 is talking about migration from Pakistan to India. Article number 7 is talking about the people who migrated to Pakistan from India. India to Pakistan, again back to India, they are covered under Article number 7. When it comes to Article number 8, the people of Indian origin who are residing outside India, they were covered. They were covered under Article number 8. For this reason, Indian government has opened Indian administrative offices. They are nothing but the embassies. They have been opened outside India, and the people who are residing in those countries, they were asked to come to Indian administrative offices and enroll themselves as the citizens of India, so that so many people who are living outside India during that time, they were provided with the citizenship of India. Am I clear? I spoke to you regarding 4 articles, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And these articles, they have provided a mechanism of acquisition of the citizenship. Right? Now, let me open the document. I'll show you some more points with respect to this. Look at this. Now, let's try to see Article 5 very clearly. This provides that a person becomes entitled to the citizenship of India if at the time of the commencement of the constitution he has his domicile in the territory of India. Domicile means territory. At the time of the commencement of the constitution, if he has a domicile in the territory of India, or either he or either of his parents were born in India, meaning so many clauses were given like this, or he has been ordinarily resident in the country, resident in the territory of India for not less than 5 years immediately before the commencement of the constitution. Right? And anybody who comes under these 3 categories here, they were provided with the citizenship of India under Article number 5. Kindly remember, I am talking to you at the time of the commencement of the constitution. Now, if you look at this, I have given some points here. Kindly have a look at this. Domicile. What do you mean by domicile? The term domicile, number 1, it is not defined in the constitution. Number 2, domicile is a person's residence where he intends to live on permanent basis. That is called domicile. Am I clear? 2 points I have given you here. Number 1, what is this domicile? Is not defined in the constitution. But domicile is a person's residence where he intends to live on a permanent basis. And that was covered under Article number 5. Look at this. When we are talking about the domicile, it should be permanent residence and intention to reside indefinitely. This constitutes the domicile. Very, very important here. Okay, this constitutes the domicile, permanent residence and the intention to reside indefinitely. That is nothing but domicile. Kindly remember this. And at the same time, also remember, the word domicile is not defined by the constitution. Look at this. Just a moment. Yeah. Now, Article 6 is saying that this article is providing the citizenship rights of migrants from Pakistan before the commencement of the constitution. I told you just now, this Article 6 talks about the people who migrated to India from Pakistan. And this is for the people who migrated to India before the commencement of the constitution. Look at this. This provides two types of distinctions, number one and number two. Number one is the people migrating to India before July 19, 1948, and the people migrating to India after July 19th, 1948. Okay, look at this. And before, why this particular date, July 19th? So because the note is that the permit system for migration was introduced on July 19th, 1948. Before that one, there was no permit system. But for the first time, we introduced the permit system. Look at this. A person migrated to India before July 19th, 1948 shall be deemed to be a citizen of India on the commencement of the constitution if either that person or his parents or any of grandparents and has been ordinarily residing in India since the date of migration. So they are covered under this particular article, article number 6. Either this person is living or his parents or any of his grandparents and they have been ordinarily residing in India since the date of migration. Kindly remember, this migration should have taken place before July 19th, 1948. Okay, just remember this. Next one, when it comes to the migration, if it happened after July 19th, 1948, then what will happen? Look at this. He should have been registered as a citizen of India by an officer appointed for the purpose by the government of India. Okay, if it is after July 19th, I told you on July 19th, 1948, we have introduced the permit system and he should have been registered as a citizen of India by an officer and has been residing in India for at least 6 months before immediately preceding the date of application. What do you mean by this? On day one itself, he cannot submit the application. He should reside in India at least for a period of 6 months, then go for the application, provided that person has migrated to India only after July 19th, 1948. Am I clear? Next, when it comes to Article 7, this is talking about the people who are living in India, they went to Pakistan, again came back to India. Now, a person who migrated to Pakistan from India after March 1st, 1947, but later returned to India for resettlement could become a citizen of India. All right? If you can remember the dates, just now I told you July 19th something and March 1st I am using this. If you can remember these dates, that will be really good. For this purpose, he had to be the resident of India for 6 months preceding the date of his application for registration. Look at this. Note, the meaning of migration mentioned in Article 7 is the migration before the commencement of the Constitution. Okay, it is not after the commencement of the Constitution, it is before the commencement of the Constitution. Now look at this. The persons migrating from Pakistan to India after January 26, 1950 are governed by Citizenship Act of 1955. This is applicable only from March 1st, 1947, right, up to January 26, 1950. Only those people of that period were covered under Article number 7, but from January 26, 1950, they will be covered under the new act that was created in 1955, that was the Citizenship Act of 1955. Okay, kindly remember, don't get confused here. We are talking about the year 1950, 1950, and don't worry that we are talking about the act that was created in the year 1955. There is no contradiction. There is no contradiction here. Generally, what will happen is that whenever we make any law in the Indian Parliament or in our state legislatures, once we make a law, we know how the legislation is made. Once we make a law, that law will either come into the force with later date, or the law can be expected to come into force even from the previous date. That is called retrospective. Retrospective in the sense, imagine a situation. A bill has been passed by the parliament and the president has signed the bill. Imagine today it is 16th December. Example I am telling you. Just because it is signed by the president of India today, it does not mean that a law will be coming into force from today itself. No. The date of implementation, the date of enforcement of the law should be notified in the government gazette. And whatever the date that is mentioned in the government gazette, from that date, it is expected to come into force. That date may be either future date or the date may be the previous date. If it is previous, that is considered to be retrospective. Meaning, in the year 1955, when we have passed the Citizenship Act of 1955, we made it very, very clear this particular law is considered to be in effect from January 26th, 1950. Hope I am clear. This will happen to majority of the laws that are present in India. That's the reason why sometimes we will also see the president will sign the bill and the bill becomes an act, but it will not be, or it may not be implemented. It will be implemented only from that date, only from that date, as it is notified in the government gazette. Am I clear? Now, these are the important points for you for the examination point. Okay. Now, look at this. Article 8. This article provides that a person or any of his parents or any of his grandparents born in India as defined by the Government of India Act 1935. Remember this, a person or any of his parents or any of his grandparents born in India as defined by the Government of India Act 1935, but ordinarily residing outside India shall become the citizen of India if registered as a citizen of India by the diplomatic representative of India in that country. Very, 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 very important here. We are talking about the people who took birth in India as defined in the Government of India Act of 1935, but they are residing outside India. How they can become the citizens? They can become the citizens if they register themselves as a citizen of India by the diplomatic representative of India in that country. And this is with respect to before or after the commencement of the constitution. Okay, this is how they have defined it. Next, when it comes to article number 9, this provides that if a person voluntarily acquires the citizenship of another country, he shall forfeit the right of the citizenship of India. What do you mean by this? Under article number 5, 6, 7, and 8, we have seen the acquisition of the citizenship. How a person can acquire the citizenship of India. But article number 9 is talking about the termination of the citizenship of those people who acquired the citizenship of India under Articles 5, 6, 7, and 8. Anybody who acquired the citizenship of India under 5 to 8 articles, if they acquire the citizenship of any other country voluntarily, then they will be losing the citizenship of India automatically. Kindly remember, sometime back I was telling you, in India we have a single citizenship. We don't have the dual citizenship. That is the reason why single citizenship is protected by the Constitution in the form of Article number 9. This Article number 9 is talking about the citizens of India who acquired the citizenship under 5, 6, 7, 8 articles. If they acquire the citizenship of any other country voluntarily, they will be losing the citizenship of India. That is what is mentioned under Article number 9. Now let me show you the document here again. Look at this. Look at this. This provides that if a person voluntarily acquires the citizenship of another country, he shall forfeit the right of the citizenship of India. Look at this. The above clause is applicable to the cases arising before the commencement of the Indian Constitution. Am I clear? Next one. Such a type of cases arising after the commencement of the Constitution shall be dealt by the Citizenship Act of 1955. Only before, only those people who became the citizens of India as mentioned in the Constitution, who acquired the citizenship of India before the commencement of the Constitution, only those will be covered under Article number 9, and later, after we created Citizenship Act of 1955, then they will be dealt by the new act in India, that is the Citizenship Act of 1955. Look at this. Note, whether a person has lost the citizenship of India after acquiring the citizenship of the other country is to be decided by the government. And whatever the government says, that will become final. Am I clear? Next one. Article number 10. This provides that every person who is or is deemed to be the citizen of India under any of the provisions in the Article 5 to 10 shall continue to be a citizen of India. Fine. All the articles 5 to 10 put together are covered under Article number 10. That's it. And this is subject to the provisions of any law made by the Parliament. Okay, am I clear? Next, when it comes to the next article here, look at this. Article number 11. This article provides for the Parliament to enact legislations pertaining to the acquisition and termination of the citizenship of India. See, at the time of the commencement of the Constitution, what should happen, that is decided by Articles 5 to 10. Later, the Constitution has given the liberty to the Parliament of India to decide the provisions which are related to the acquisition and termination. And this is what is mentioned under Article number 11. And according to this particular article, the Parliament has passed a legislation, and that is considered to be the Citizenship Act of 1955. Am I clear? Now, look at this. The Parliament has passed the Citizenship Act of 1955, providing for the acquisition and termination of the citizenship. Look at this. The citizenship can be QUIRED. The citizenship can be acquired by 5 ways. I kindly remember whatever I have spoken to you till now. Whatever I have spoken to you till now, that is with respect to the articles 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I am going to talk to you regarding the most important article in the citizenship part of Indian Constitution. This article number 11 has empowered the Parliament of India to decide who can acquire the citizenship and who will be losing the citizenship. And now it will be decided by the parliament. Accordingly, the parliament has passed a legislation called Citizenship Act of 1955. From now, whatever I am going to talk to you, I am going to talk in terms of the Citizenship Act of 1955. This is whatever I am going to talk to you now is not mentioned in the constitution, but these are prepared by the parliament in accordance with the article number 11 of the Indian constitution. Now, whatever I am going to say, we are all covered under this today. Is that okay? And for that reason, whether I am really a citizen of India or not, if I want to know that now, if I keep on going into the constitution, if I keep on reading various articles, nowhere I'll be finding about my citizenship provisions. For that reason, I have to read Citizenship Act of 1955, and this act was made by the parliament. Am I clear regarding that? I am going to talk to you now. Now look at this. The citizenship can be acquired by 5 ways. This is in accordance with the Citizenship Act of 1955. Now look at the names here. So what are the methods here? By birth, we are all covered under here by birth concepts. By descent, by registration, by naturalization, by incorporating a territory. Right? In the similar manner, the citizenship can be terminated in 3 methods. Number 1 is the renunciation. Number 2 is the termination. Number 3 is the deprivation. Now let's try to understand. So what exactly is this? Now, when it comes to acquiring the citizenship of India, there are 5 methods that are mentioned under the Citizenship Act. By birth. What do you mean by this concept by birth? Any person who takes birth on Indian soil will acquire the citizenship of India automatically. That is the concept of by birth. When it comes to by descent, this is also just like the birth. And kindly see here, let me talk to you descent after some time. But when I'm using the word by birth concept, anybody who takes birth on Indian soil is considered to be the citizen of India. What do you mean by this? When I'm using the word Indian soil, I'm talking about the entire Indian territory. Anywhere in any of the state in the country, we have 29 states and 7 union territories. In any part, if a person takes a birth, the person is acquiring the citizenship of India. That is the meaning of the by birth. Number 2, when I'm using the word descent, it is just like the concept of the birth. But in the case of descent, the birth is taking place outside India and not on Indian soil. Am I clear? That is descent. I'll give the explanations now. Number 3, when it comes to the registration, this is applicable exclusively for the foreigners. If they want to acquire the citizenship of India, one mechanism that is available is in the form of registration. In the similar manner, naturalization. The concept of naturalization is also applicable only to the foreigners. Through a method of registration, through a method of naturalization, a foreigner can acquire the citizenship of India. Last one, by acquiring a territory. Whenever any area which is not already part of Union of India, if India acquires that particular territory, the people who are living in that area are provided with the citizenship of India. Am I clear? 5 methods. Kindly remember each one very clearly. By birth, by descent, by registration, by naturalization, by acquiring a territory. 5 methods. Next, when it comes to the losing the citizenship, the same Citizenship Act of 1955 has mentioned three mechanisms. Number one, by renunciation. Renunciation means a person is voluntarily surrendering his citizenship. That is number one. Number two, termination. Termination means the action is taken by the government. Number three, deprivation. Deprivation means it is the forceful termination of the citizenship. Deprivation is considered to be a serious concept. If any person acquires the citizenship of India by fraud, then he will be deprived of the citizenship of India, and the government will take the action against the person in accordance with the law. Hopefully, I'm clear. So, these are the 5 plus 3 methods that are mentioned in the Constitution of India. I'm sorry. So, these are the 5 plus 3 methods that are mentioned in the Citizenship Act of 1955, and that act has been prepared in accordance with the provisions of the Indian Constitution under Article number 11. Okay. So, in tomorrow's class, I'll explain you in a detailed manner each one regarding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 1, 2, 3, how a person will be acquiring and losing his citizenship. Apart from this, we also have some concepts called persons of Indian origin. Sometimes we'll also talk about the overseas citizens of India. Sometimes we use the word NRIs, non-resident Indians. Sometimes we also say a concept called dual citizenship. What exactly are these? We'll try to understand and we'll try to complete the topic, the citizenship, in tomorrow's class. Okay, I'll stop the class at this stage. Thank you for being with me this morning. I wish you all a very, very good luck and have a fantastic day. Thank you so much.